Zooba here, orale to you all, and welcome to Liner Notes. Today, Jerry Goldsmith's Project 3 Total Sound Stereo original soundtrack album to Bandolero. The exciting new score by Jerry Goldsmith, who wrote the music for Planet of the Apes and Sebastian, including the haunting Bandolero theme, one of the great tunes that will linger in the memories of everyone who sees this explosive motion picture. To provide music that would maximize the impact of this picture of life on a raw, hard-bitten frontier, producer Robert L. Jacks called on one of the most able and versatile film composers in Hollywood, Jerry Goldsmith. At 38, Goldsmith has established himself in the top rank of the film colony's freelance composers. Before turning his attention to Bandolero, he has written the scores for two of the year's outstanding pictures, Planet of the Apes and Sebastian. His music for Planet of the Apes, the science fiction allegory based on the novel by Pierre Boulle, who wrote Bridge on the River Kwai, starring Charlton Heston, Maurice Evans, Kim Hunter, and Roddy McDowall, called for an unusual instrumentation to achieve effects that were described by John Mahoney of The Hollywood Reporter as at once primordial, suggestive of electronic, symbolic, and yet still melodic above the undercurrents. Mahoney expanded this description by saying of Goldsmith's score that while it's Chavesian in its percussive moments, chimes tolling, distorting, echoes reverberating, it makes exceptional use of pizzicato strings and piano in keyboard and solo and struck from within. Interesting. They go on to talk about Planet of the Apes and Goldsmith's score from Sebastian. But let's not talk about that here. Let's just get back to Bandolero. From these two extremes of musical style, Goldsmith swerved directly into the musical mainstream for his vibrant score for Bandolero, a score that underlines the strong motivational action of the script and builds around a recurring theme that digs deeper and deeper into the listener's subconscious. I shall open up the gatefold now and continue. Behind all this varied composition is a fast-developing career that began in television and then progressed to motion pictures. In his early years, Goldsmith, by his own account, did everything at Columbia Broadcast System, everything musical, that is. His first efforts were in radio for Suspense in the Hallmark Hall of Fame and the CBS Radio Workshop. When television opened up, he moved into that unexplored field. He scored the first 5 years of Climax, the Studio One series, the final 2 seasons of Playhouse 90, and a long list of early drama series including Gunsmoke, Twilight Zone, Perry Mason, and Have Gun Will Travel. Later, he wrote the music for the Thriller series, which won him an Emmy nomination. Kane's 100 in some segments of GE Theatre, Wagon Train, and Dr. Kildare. Quite an impressive list, but that was only the beginning of his burgeoning career as a composer. Next, he moved into motion pictures. He started his film composing career with Black Patch and City of Fear. Then he came to a landmark, Studs Lonergan. That's the one I'm really proud of, he says. Scoring this came closest to my own style, Goldsmith said. From Studs Lonergan he moved on to A Lonely Are the Brave and The Spiral Road, The Stripper, The List of Adrian Messenger, A Gathering of Eagles, The Prize, and Freud, whose score won an Academy Award nomination for him. With all this behind him, Goldsmith can look back and see where he stands today. He is glad, he says, to have moved on to films from television. I cut my teeth in television, he admits, but I've been spoiled by picture work in terms of the time it takes to do a score. The time limitations, he asserts, makes a great deal of difference in composing for the two media. The time limitations on television make it impossible to do anything decent, he declares. It's a matter of taking 6 weeks with a motion picture as against 5 or 6 days for a television show. Plus doing your own orchestrating. On a movie, you average 2 minutes of music a day, and without an orchestrator. A crucial difference between television and film scoring, he points out, is in the planning and the thought behind it. The thought is where time counts, he says. Time for thought is impossible when you're writing for television. That's too bad, but it's a very basic thing. This basic thing is what has given Goldsmith's film scores their cachet. With the help of orchestrator Herbert Spencer, he has devised a series of settings for Bandolero that not only set the dramatic elements of the scenes, but expand them and add a new dimension with his virtuosic use of a repeated melodic theme that characterizes the style and approach of the film. The liner notes go on to talk about the film itself, and they don't mention Goldsmith anymore, so Zooba will end here.